Baylor football has canceled its spring game. I love oddity. I love when college football coaches or just coaches in the Big 12 do stupid things. I enjoy talking about it. Remember that one time Dana Holgerson did the whole we're supposed to lose in the Big 12. What do you expect us to do? We're Houston. Right? That random press conference he had where he was like, well, we're behind the punch because it's our first year in the conference, which was super princessy and stupid. He got fired, by the way. Mark Pope making the kids take the Texas t-shirts, the horns down t-shirts off. And now Dave Aranda on the week of the spring game saying, you know what? I'm not having a spring game for a guy whose morale was already bad. This is not a move that I think is very cool, good. I know he doesn't care if I think it's cool or good. What is shocking to me is that in January 12th, Baylor releases a statement that says the spring game is happening on April 20th at noon. As an alumni, all your buddies, you get together, you're like, oh, we're going to go watch the spring game. We can't wait. This is one of the great things of college. We watch, 80,000 will show up for Nebraska or Ohio State or all these power programs and cheer them on. And it's a display of how much fans love their school. It is a display of how good the school is at one certain athletic event or sport or whatever, because they do it for Midnight Madness in basketball or a scrimmage in baseball, a green and gold at Baylor, I'm sure. And then the week of, Dave Aranda goes, I just think we're not going to have a spring game. And instead, they're going to have an open practice. The thing that just already happens, they're just going to do it. Like, hey, anybody that wants to come watch us do drills can. Won't be a 7-on-7. Won't be an 11-on-11. They're not streaming it on ESPN Plus like everybody else in the country. They're not even doing a formatted game at all. Usually it's the fun thing of hey, defense gets a sack, it's a point. If you kick a field goal, it's 4 points. If the offense gets a touchdown, we'll give you 10 points. If the defense gets a stop, we'll give you 11, right? This is the fun intricacies of, look, that guy looked great. That guy looked great in the spring game. Happens every year. Every year, every team wins a national championship in the spring game. The only team that won't win a national championship in its spring game this year is Baylor, because they've just decided the week of, nah, not for us. What? I have said, over the course of the last couple of years, Dave Aranda's not really cut out to be a college football coach, a head college football coach, at least yet. He doesn't have the personality for it, and the guy's just boring. You'd rather watch paint dry, listen to one of his press conferences. He just says some weird stuff. This week, I think he talked about how Doctor Who or Doctor Strange or one of those guys from one of those things is kind of the way that football is viewed, and it blows my mind, some of the things that he says. And then this week, it says all you alumni that are planning to come, all this big event that helps university morale, cancel it, scrap it, and maybe even more salt in the wound. We're still going to be there. We're just going to practice. And there's a whole quarterback battle that's happening right now. They've got now, it should be decided, DeQuan Finn was the MAC player of the year and could be a very good quarterback in the Big 12 next season, but he might not start, according to Dave Aranda and Jake Spavital, the new offensive coordinator, who you also expect to see, and Dave Aranda, the new defensive coordinator, who's fired multiple coordinators at this point. And I know I'm often cynical about the school that I went to as a Baylor alum, but can we just be objective for a second? No matter if you're a TCU fan, a Texas Tech fan, a BYU fan, a UCF fan, a Utah fan, or a Baylor fan, this is really stupid. I get you could spin it around like, oh, well, he's all business. No one does this. It's not a thing. Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, the top coaches in college football are never like, you know what? Take this, fans. We're canceling the spring game. We need to focus more. We're business around these parts. Even guys who are big names that struggled, like Jimbo Fisher, they wouldn't take the opportunity away for fans to see the team, for fans to get excited about the team. You never, as a general fan, go to the spring game and leave thinking, man, we're going to suck next year. We look real sloppy today. No, this is the greatest beef up, the greatest writing there is in college sports. The thing you do against yourself where you cannot lose, and Baylor still found a way to lose. I just want you, whoever you are, to put yourself in the situation, the shoes of a coach in college football who has to look his fan base in the online, in the internet, because it's not the eyes, and say, hey, happy Sunday, everybody. I don't think this coming weekend we're going to do the spring game anymore. You can watch us do some drills, though. Bet you our guys will block real well against those pads. Bet your quarterbacks will throw real well when there's not a defense or just tossing some routes. Who's going to show up? Like, talk about just killing morale around a football team, morale around a program. If I'm a player, I think this is the stupidest thing ever. One of the things that I hated as an athlete, when I was an athlete, like middle school even, is the coach that would come in and just say something, and everybody looks around and is like, that was kind of corny. The guy was, your dreams are the spirits that keep you alive. And that one kid in the corner is like, yeah, coach, you tell him. And everybody else is like, what's this guy talking about? I'm sure that's how a lot of the Baylor players feel. There's no convincing us this is cool. You just took away the spring game. The one thing that you could have going for you. And the people who decide to do it have canceled it. What a joke, man. What a joke. Coming up, BYU's coaching search. I think it's done. Locked On Big 12, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's show is brought to you by LinkedIn Talent Solutions. LinkedIn Talent Solutions is where I go when I need to make a hire. Every semester, I bring on an intern to Locked On Big 12 to help run the Twitter. So any bad tweets were probably the intern, not me, right? When you're hiring for your small business, LinkedIn Jobs is the place to go. Business, LinkedIn isn't just a job board. It helps you hire professionals, even those who aren't actively searching for new jobs. 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're not looking in the right place. 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. They make it easy for you. They're constantly finding new ways to make it easier. 2.5 million small businesses use LinkedIn for hiring. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That is linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Keep in mind that terms and conditions do apply.